Hello and welcome to Daily Prelims Practice. Here we are going to take up the MCQs which are based on today's newspaper of The Hindu and Indian Express. The topics for today's discussion are listed on your screen. Let us begin our discussion. The first question of today's discussion is based on this particular news which has featured on page number 8 in Indian Express. It basically talks about Karnataka election in which the sharing of Mahadevi river's water has become an important issue. As Indian rivers is an important and recurring theme in UPSC Prelims exam, hence one should be aware about the key aspects associated with Indian rivers. In 2014, UPSC has asked that which of the above rivers flows through Arunachal Pradesh. And the practice question which we have curated says that consider the following statements. In this question, you are being given 3 statements regarding 3 different rivers and you need to identify which of them is or are correct. The first statement says Mahadevi is an east flowing river which originates from Bhimgad Wildlife Sanctuary of Karnataka. Mahadevi river originates from Bhimgad Wildlife Sanctuary which is situated in Karnataka. But it is a west flowing river and not east flowing, which makes this statement incorrect. It is also known as lifeline of Goa, and the sharing of waters of this river is a cause of dispute between the government of Karnataka and Goa. The second statement says Godavari is India's second largest river after Ganga. It is a correct statement and Godavari is often known as Dakshin Ganga. The third statement says Kaveri originates from Brahmagiri range in Western Ghats and flows through 2 Indian states only. It is a correct statement as Kaveri is a significant river that runs through Indian states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and the source of Kaveri river is located in the Brahmagiri range of Western Ghats which is situated in state of Karnataka, and this river empties out in Bay of Bengal. As we are required to identify the correct statements, the answer to this question becomes D, which is 2 and 3 only, and the answer to the previous year question is B, which is 2 and 3 only. Barak is the river which does not flow through Arunachal Pradesh, and the moment you eliminate one, you will reach the correct answer. Moving on to the next question, which is based on this news which has appeared on page number 17 in Indian Express. The context of this news is that banks and the payment operators have reported online payment frauds of 1750 crores in last 7 months. Although the context of this news is not important as far as our UPSC Prelims exam is concerned, but the body which is mentioned here, RBI, is important for our prelims exam. Previously, UPSC has asked many questions on RBI and its initiatives, which makes this area important for our discussion. Back in 2021, UPSC asked this particular question in which you need to identify the correct statements. And on the similar lines, we have curated one practice MCQ which says that consider the following statements regarding RBI. The first statement says the RBI Act of 1934 gives RBI the sole rights to mint coins and issue banknotes in India. It is an incorrect statement because coins are minted by Government of India and not by RBI, and RBI issues the banknotes, which makes this statement incorrect. The second statement says it administers Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. It is again an incorrect statement. The acts which are administered by Reserve Bank of India are mentioned here, and it does not include the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. The important ones here are RBI Act 1934, Banking Regulation Act 1949, Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, SURFACI Act 2002, Payment and Settlements Act 2007, and it does not include the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. Hence, the answer to this question becomes D, which is neither 1 nor 2. And the answer to the previous year question is C, which is 1 and 3 only. Because the second statement says certain provisions in the Constitution of India gives central government the right to issue directions to RBI in public interest. Because there is no provision in the Constitution of India with respect to the directions given to RBI by central government. And if you are able to eliminate option 2, you will reach the correct answer. Moving on to the next question, which is based on this pictographic news, which appeared on page number 3 in The Hindu. It basically talks about a wildlife sanctuary which is situated in Assam. and it has a huge population of one-horned rhino and water buffalo. And UPSC has a habit of asking questions from protected zones like wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, and national parks, which makes this area important for our discussion. In 2018, UPSC asked about Pakhui Wildlife Sanctuary, and the question says, in which of the following states is the Pakhui Wildlife Sanctuary located? Out of these four options, you need to identify the correct one. And we have framed one practice MCQ on wildlife sanctuaries. In this question, you are being given 4 pairs and you need to identify how many pairs given above is or are correctly matched. The first one is Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary, and the state which is mentioned here is Assam. It is a correctly matched pair, as Pobitora is an important wildlife sanctuary which is located in the state of Assam, and it hosts large number of population of one-horned rhino. The second one is Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary. It is an incorrect pair because Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary is situated in the state of Andhra Pradesh and not in Arunachal. The third one is Eagle Nest Wildlife Sanctuary. This pair is again incorrectly matched, and the correct location of Eagle Nest Wildlife Sanctuary is Arunachal Pradesh. And the location of these two sanctuaries are interchanged. The fourth one is Bhadra Wildlife Sanctuary. It is correctly matched as it is situated in the state of Karnataka. Only 2 pairs have correctly matched, so the answer to this question becomes B. And the answer to the previous year question is A. Pakhui Wildlife Sanctuary is located in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. The next question of today's discussion is based on this news which has featured on page number 4 in The Hindu. It basically talks about the local body elections which are going to be conducted in the state of Uttar Pradesh, in which the ruling party has increased its outreach to Pasmanda Muslims. Panchayati Raj institutions and municipalities is an important theme under Polity section of UPSC Prelims exam, and UPSC has asked many questions regarding the same. In 2016, UPSC has asked a question related to panchayats. In this question, you are being given 2 statements and you need to identify which of them is or are correct. On the similar lines, we have curated one practice MCQ which says, which of the following are the compulsory provisions mentioned under 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992? 4 statements are given and you need to identify the correct statements. The first statement says, direct elections to all seats in panchayats at village, intermediate and district levels. It is a correct statement as it is one of the compulsory provision of 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act in which direct election to all the seats at all 3 levels is mandatory. The second statement says, reservation of seats for both members and chairpersons for backward classes. It is an incorrect statement. It is a voluntary provision and not compulsory. And on the other hand, reservation of seats for both members and chairpersons for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes at all 3 levels is compulsory under this particular act. Hence, the statement second is incorrect. The third statement says, reservation of 1/3 seats, both members and chairpersons for women in panchayats at all 3 levels. It is a correct statement as it is mandatory to provide 1/3 of seats to women in panchayats at all 3 levels. The fourth statement says, granting powers and authority to panchayats to enable them to function as institution of self-government. It is again a voluntary provision and not a compulsory one. Hence, statement 4 is incorrect. And the answer to this question becomes C, which is 1 and 3 only. And the answer to the previous year question is B, which is 2 only. Because the minimum age which is prescribed for any person to be a member of panchayat is 21 years and not 25. It is again one of the compulsory provision of 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. Moving on to the next question, which is based on this particular news which has featured on page number 10 in The Hindu. It basically talks about the Meeti community which has been seeking the scheduled tribe status for decades, and now they intend to file the contempt proceedings against the Hill Areas Committee of Manipur Assembly. As we all know, India is a home to numerous tribes, and UPSC previously asked questions on PVTGs and tribes, which makes this area important for our discussion. In 2014, a question has been asked on communities and tribes regarding their festival. And on the similar lines, we have curated one practice MCQ. In this question, you are being given 4 pairs in which tribes and states are mentioned, and you need to identify how many pairs are incorrectly matched. The first tribe which is mentioned here is Sora. It is a tribe of eastern India and they live in southern Odisha and north coastal Andhra Pradesh. So it is a correct pair. And this tribe is famous for its Sora paintings, which is a mural painting. Try to remember this information as it can help you in your prelims exam. The second one is Vatal tribe. It is an incorrect pair. Vatals are Kashmiri speaking people and they are confined entirely to Kashmir Valley. And Dhumal is a dance form which is performed by Vatal community. The next one is Langa, and the state which is mentioned here is Gujarat. It is a correctly matched pair as Langas are Muslim community and they are mostly found in state of Gujarat and Rajasthan, and they are known for their folk music. The last one is Muria. This pair is incorrectly matched. Muria are scheduled Dravidian community of Bastar district of Chhattisgarh. Only 2 pairs have incorrectly matched. So the answer to this question becomes B. And the answer to the previous year question is also B. The last question of today's discussion is based on this news which has featured on page number 2 in The Hindu. It basically talks about air pollution. Delhi's Chief Minister has unveiled a plan to curb air pollution with a special focus on controlling dust pollution, in which patrolling units, anti-smoke guns and sprinklers are deployed. Further, Delhi's Chief Minister has also said there is a 30% reduction in air pollution levels from 2016 to 2022. Environmental pollutants is an important theme in UPSC Prelims exam, and back in 2013, a question on pollutants in drinking water has been asked. In this question, 5 pollutants are given and you need to identify which of them can be found as pollutant in drinking water. The practice question which we have curated says that which of the following are examples of non-viable particulate pollutants. Now before solving this practice MCQ, let us try to understand what is non-viable particulate pollutant. They are small, solid or liquid particles suspended in air that are not capable of reproducing or growing. The options which are mentioned here is dust, mist, mold and algae. And you need to identify which of them is the example of non-viable particulate pollutant. Just take a pause and try a hand on this. If you have basic understanding regarding ecosystem and its species, then you will be able to solve this particular question in fraction of seconds. As mold and algae are living organisms and they have tendency to reproduce, so both of them should not be a part of the answer. And the moment you eliminate 3 and 4, you will reach the correct answer, which is option A. And the answer to the previous year question is C, which is 1, 3 and 5 only. That's all for today's discussion. Thank you for watching today's DPP. Stay tuned for upcoming sessions which will enhance your preparation for the prelims exam, which is going to be conducted on 28th May 2023.